Now, there's a very heated debate recently on Twitter. I found this debate very interesting because it touched on a state secret. Yeah, I kid you not. Now, the state secret, strict government of Kenya secret, serikali ya serikali, was the population of the Somali community in Kenya. And I'm not talking about Somalians. I'm talking about Kenyans, Kenyan Somalis. Now, what made this debate even more fascinating were the characters involved, okay? Aden Duale and Dr. Donald Kipkorir. Now, both these people are very, very close associates to William Samoei Ruto, the deputy president. Some, of course, are more closer to DP than others. I will explain exactly what I mean, apart from giving you some other information that will just floor you, immediately after the short upcoming commercial break. Don't even think of going away. Welcome back. Now, before I tell you why the real and true population of the Somali community in Kenya is such a closely guarded state secret, let us look a bit deeper into these two individuals, okay? Now, during the referendum in 2010 for the new constitution, Aden Duale and William Ruto were on opposite sides, William Ruto was leading the No campaign. They were saying a big no to the new constitution, alongside other characters like our current president, Uhuru Kenyatta, retired President Daniel Arap Moi, and many others. On the other hand, Aden Duale was the team leader of the Yes campaign in charge of the entire northeastern province. The other guy, Dr. Donald Kipkorir, met William Ruto when most people had never even heard of that name. They met in 1992. Dr. Kipkorir was still a student of law. And Bwana William Ruto had just graduated from the jobless corner and was in Youth for KANU 92. He had just joined the group that was destined to change his life forever. In other words, in those days, DP Ruto was not a fake hustler. He was the real thing. Now, they were introduced by a mutual friend, a man by the name of Vincent Kebene. He's now deceased. And Kipkorir and Ruto had a lot in common. They had both come from very, very humble beginnings. And they were trying to make good, make a good life, despite their humble beginnings. And so the two men were drawn together, and they became very, very close friends. Indeed, to date, they are still extremely close friends. An interesting tidbit here. At the time Kipkorir and Ruto met, Duale was a teacher. In fact, he was just starting his first year teaching after graduating from Moi University. He was teaching in a school called Sankeri Secondary School in Garissa. I'm sure if he had been introduced to Ruto at that time, he'd have just yawned and moved on. Who is this introducing me to? But that's life. Now, apart from being controversial, Donald Kipkorir is also a very interesting character. Did you know that, for instance, he got married just in 2017 at the age of 49 years old? And it's not that he had married and divorced. He had never been married before. What? Anyway, Kipkorir is usually very controversial and is not scared to speak his mind. He always speaks his mind, especially on Twitter. So Kipkorir makes this comment about how the Somali community has a lot to teach other tribes in Kenya. Yeah. How they're in all political parties, they don't vote tribally. Yeah. And then he mentions somewhere that the Somali community in Kenya are less than 300,000 in number. Most people completely miss his very valid point and they focus on the numbers. Aden Duale, another very close associate of DP William Ruto, comes out with both barrels of his guns firing. He says, no way. The Somali community in Kenya is over 3 million and they're scattered all over the country. Yeah. Somebody adds that, oh, maybe you confused Aden Duale's followers on Twitter for the Somali community. Because Bwana Duale has close to 300k followers on Twitter. Now what follows is fascinating. People even start quoting the official census figures, yeah, which puts the Somali community as not being more than 600,000 countrywide. But Duale and company stick to their guns. They say Somalis in Kenya, Kenyan Somalis, are over 3 million. Then they tell us about how, Somalis are polygamous. Yeah, so the average member of one family is quite high, as opposed to other tribes in Kenya, etc., etc. Now, if Duale's figure is correct, and believe you me, it is correct, okay, then it means that actually the Somali community could be more than the Kamba community, which would put them number 5 and very, very influential in any vote being cast in a country called Kenya. Now, the real tribal numbers in Kenya have been a very closely guarded state secret. Why? Because these numbers are important when it comes to fiddling with elections. Take, for instance, the just concluded elections. No analyst, not even Chris Kumekucha, talked about Somali numbers. Yeah? And yet, taking this information from Bwana Duale, the Somali community had a very, very major impact on the elections and the election results. And I'm talking about real results, not pap results. No, I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about real, genuine results. Now, in many ways, this conversation on Twitter was very puzzling to me. Okay? For starters, Aden Duale is leader of majority. He's in government. He's close to the center of power. Why would he want to release a closely guarded state secret? Now, I don't know if you realize it yet, yeah, but this information unleashed by Duale and company is the kind of information that could easily be splash headline news, front page news of all the dailies in the country. Somali community in Kenya are over 3 million. Wow! That one has very, very, very far-reaching implications. Okay? Of course, we shall be analyzing this further in other related videos in the near future. Okay? But for now, let me just leave it at that. In fact, let me just leave you to chew on that because that's a lot to chew. What? Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.